Wowzers! Welcome to the very first video on this channel. I need to introduce myself. My name is Josh. You can call me Sire. I've got another station or another channel where I talk about politics, political related issues and movies. But here I want to talk about my team, my favorite team in the entire world, the team that makes me continue to love soccer, and that's Chelsea Football Club. And I know a lot of people might not agree with me, but this is the best football club in the world. It's full of dramas. It's like watching a movie when it comes to this club. And right now we have just gotten rid of our biggest legend, I would say, in Frank Lampard. And I'm watching a lot of YouTubers, which is the reason why I'm actually starting this channel right now. They're all acting like they're feeling remorse because it's Frank Lampard, and it's almost like it's so scripted. But the reality of it is, I have been watching them for a long time, and I tell you, they have been wishing. They seriously have been wishing that Frank Lampard be kicked out, because really, football is all about business. Nobody really cares who you are. You could be JT, you could be Didier Drogba. If you are not performing, you need to get the boot. And right now, I would say Frank Lampard wasn't performing. To be honest with you, I felt a little sorry for him because, I mean, it's Frank. We love him, right? But my brother didn't feel a damn thing. Right? Seriously for him, because, and he's got a point. The reason why is because Frank Lampard shot his own self in the foot. To be honest with you, I see no reason why he did so many things that he did. Now, I'm going to be counting some of the problems that I personally found with Frank Lampard, regardless of the fact that I have some affiliation or some ties to him, you know, some feelings to him, so some affection, I would say. I want to say that Frank Lampard is one of those coaches that made the similar mistake as Scolari and AVB. Nobody else is going to say this, because I'm just going to be speaking from the heart when it comes to this particular channel. So whatever goes, whatever happens. So basically, with Frank Lampard, I think that he was acting the same way AVB, the same way Scolari did. So let me give you a little background about these two people. Now, when Scolari came, the first thing Scolari did was to try to alienate Didier Drogba. And Didier Drogba was a huge character in the dressing room. Matter of fact, Didier Drogba is one of the key reasons why we won, you know, a Premier League the year before. And then Scolari comes in and is like, look, I'm going to be calling the shots. I'm going to use my own new players or what have you. So we got Anelka, who was fairly new, and he was like, yes, I'm going to be starting with Anelka. I don't want to use two strikers and what have you. And Lord knows, many of the players weren't happy. So first off, you're having problems in the dressing room. He benched other players as well. So at the end of the day, these players, they did what they did. Player power in Chelsea is really big. They got rid of Scolari. Now, when it came to Ariel Villas-Boas, it was so clear. They knew him under Mourinho. They knew this guy, you know, who used to carry the badge for Mourinho. They knew when he was getting his coaching badges. It was probably a year or 2 years older than Terry, Drogba, and Lampard, or what have you, between 2 or 3 years. So they knew him like, you know, like pals and what have you. And when he came into the club, the first thing he tried to do was to alienate the older players so that he can use his own players. It never works. Trust me, it never works. Any team, any coach that tries that out always ends up failing. And so at the end of the day, what did the boys do? What did Lampard do? What did Ballack do? What did all these boys, Deco, the rest of them, what did they do? They messed the guy up because the team was in shambles. Now, the moment they kicked Andres Villas-Boas out and they brought in Di Matteo, what happened? We won the Champions League and the FA Cup. You want to know why? Because Di Matteo brought back Drogba into the fold, brought back Lampard into the fold, and brought all the old people together, and it was like, we're all going to do this together. And we won. Now comes Lampard's turn. And right from day one, I started having my own skepticisms. You want to know why? Because David Luiz stepped out of the team straight away. You can't just walk into a team. You're talking about meritocracy and all that, and then you walk up to someone and you tell them, you're going to be my fourth choice. I mean, who does that? To David Luiz. This guy was a character in the dressing room. He was a leader. And I'm pretty sure if David Luiz had stayed with us throughout this whole period in time, I think the team would have been better for it. Regardless of the fact that we know he's got his crazy movements and what have you, the team had no leader. No leader at all. Nobody, no, that figure in the team that could take a team from one position to another. Who was our Diego Costa? Who was our Didier Drogba? Nobody. Who was our John Terry? Who was our Lampard? Nobody. And then the only person left from that era that could actually instill some confidence or push players, even the young players, be a role model to them, he got rid of him. And that's not the only thing. Remember what Lampard did with Giroud? Sidelined Giroud for the longest time. We almost forgot that Giroud was still in the team. He did the same thing with Alonso. Now, I know a lot of people will be supporting him doing that to Alonso, but for goodness sake, Alonso has saved this team countless times. How are we so quick to forget the usefulness of Alonso? Alonso offers you the ability to be able to change formation to 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, which we could beat people like Tottenham or even sometimes maybe Man City with those formations. But then he sidelined Alonso because of one mistake. Now, if I was in his shoes, personally, I would have said, Alonso, what you did was bad. In order for me not to lose face in the dressing room, I'm going to give you 1 or 2 match suspensions, but then right after that, you're back. But for months, he didn't speak to Alonso. That's breaking down the dressing room. Let's be real. So, most of the things that he did, consistently playing Mason Mount consistently, even though Mason Mount wasn't offering much other than running around the field, marking people. We all knew this. Everybody watching the game knew. We all knew the mistakes that Lampard was making. Seriously, knew the mistakes that Lampard was making. Seriously. And he kept on making them. And look, it was only a matter of time before this thing started biting him in the ass. Football is not all about speed. And that was what Lampard wanted. High octane, speed, what have you. Football is a lot more than that. You can't just come into the team and start saying, it's all going to be high octane or nothing. So every player that isn't fast goes to the bench. Rudiger, you're not fast enough, go to the bench. Right? That's not how you play. You can't start alienating players. Right? There was a better player in the midfield than Mason Mount. And that player's name is Billy Gilmore. 3 starts, 3 man of the match. Is worth trying out consistently. But no, Mason Mount has to play. High-octane football. Where has it led you now, Lampard? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And I feel the pain, but I just thought I'd share reality, right? That's the reality of the thing. Football is a business, and it's a business of winning. You don't win, you don't make money. And they are in the business of making money. Top 4 was the minimum. And at the rate Lampard was going and how the dressing room was, it didn't look like we were going to make any top 4. Right? So that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is with Lampard. It's a shame that he had to go. I will miss him. I felt the pain. But I'm not going to be acting like, oh, I'm also sober. Oh, like, I'm also sad. Lampard is gone. No. Like most of these other guys. This is football. Reality is reality. Lampard should have woken up. And I've been saying it for the longest of time. That dude should not alienate anybody. He alienated Rudiger until this last couple of, games. You don't do that to players. Where's Aspilicueta? Alienated that fella. That guy could play center back if you wanted him to play center back. That's what good coaches do. When a player gets to a certain age, you try to move them along to a different role where they can perform at a high level. And Aspilicueta would make a great center back because he's pacier than most of the center backs that we have at the moment. It would make a great center back. You could pair him in a back three, and it would be great. That way you can use him, the actual captain of the club, and use Reece James. If Aspilicueta could help convert Moses into one of the best wing backs in the world 3-4 years ago, he could do it for Reece James. It's a shame, but this is reality. And I'm sorry, Lampard. We're going to miss you. And we hope that maybe one day, after you've gotten real experience, in other teams, you will be able to come back to Chelsea and function in some capacity. Maybe as a coach, or maybe as an assistant to John Terry. Who knows? All up to you. But hope to see you coaching some other team in a short while from now. It's shame, it's sad, and it's the reality of football, I guess. And that's all I got to say. Chelsea, come on. Tuchel, welcome to Chelsea, and I hope you don't make the same mistake that Lampard, AVB, and Scolari did. Come on, you Blues. Catch you guys on the next one.